Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Bakar Kodash, and all double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well to this very day. And Shalom to the hopefully elect that's continually pushing this word, that's giving all diligence, that's giving 110% in all faith and sincerity. Shalom. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled Only for the Elect. All right, because the election that the scriptures speak about, which is consists of 144,000 out of the nation of Israel, which is 12,000 out of each tribe, which explains that in the book of Revelation, chapter 7. The kingdom that's about to be ushered in on the planet Earth, the elect is going to inherit it. All right, starting with Yahweh Shai being the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He's the head, and then you have the rest that's under. All right, then you have the original 12. You have King David, and then you have the rest of the elect, which is 144,000. Okay, which that's a speck of sand compared to the whole nation of Israel, because the scriptures speak about Israel being as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. All right, so it makes sense that the Lord made it that way, because it actually goes deeper than that, because actually goes into the beginning when the world was made, which that'll be another topic for another video. But the point I'm trying to make in this video is that the kingdom that's to be ushered in the planet Earth, the elect is going to inherit it. All right, and this truth and this knowledge that we push out throughout the airways, on the highways and byways, and on the web. This message is only for the elect. All right, but the rest is if you go into the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8, it tells you about the rest of Israel. All right, now just to go ahead and get into the scriptures. I'm gonna start off with Isaiah chapter 65, and turn the brightness down a little bit. There we go. All right, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 65, verse 9. It says, "I will bring forth the seed out of Jacob, and you know what? I gotta stop right there for a second. It says, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, and inherit of my mountains." Because the Apostle Elder Gabar recently made a couple of videos about the seed, which that seed is through the act of sex. He's been going into the been tackling the immaculate conception, right? Or we like to call it the immaculate deception. Okay, which the scripture is another cut to these guys that talk about Mary was had a she didn't never have sex, and this and that. It's just another cunningly devised fable. But not to get too far off topic, I just had to bring that out for the sake of edification, or for to add more ammo to your arsenal. With this precept, it speaks about the seed. All right, and it says, "And out of Judah, and the inheritor of my mountains." All right, which that seed that came from Jacob, which came out of Judah. It's talking about Yahweh Shai. All right. Now we know it says, "And mine elect shall inherit it." All right. So behind Yahweh Shai is the elect, 144,000, like I showed you in the picture. All right. And it says, "And my servants shall dwell there." Okay. Now I want to move from there. I know I want to get the book of Zechariah, but I'm gonna get it in just 1 second. It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 13. It says, "And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when." All right, so right here it says, "Don't be curious about how the ungodly shall be punished, because they're gonna get their judgment all in all, man." So in other words, telling you, look, don't be curious about how they're gonna be punished, because the Lord, if you go into the book of Jeremiah, the 15th chapter, starting from the very first verse, it says, where shall we go when these things happen? Roughly paraphrasing. And it says, for death to death, for the captivity to the captivity, for the sword to the sword, to the famine, right? Or for the famine to the famine. All right, and the Lord is going to appoint 4 kinds to the ones who are of the wicked, right? So right here, it's saying, be not curious how the ungodly shall be punished. And it also says, and when. All right, so don't ask, when they're going to be punished, because the Lord, I made mention of this, last week, when we was out at camp. The Lord likes to do things in secret. All right, so you might have a scoffer that comes up, talking shit. Excuse my French. He comes up talking shit. He's talking that hot shit, like we like to say. And thinking that he's in good case. He's thinking that he blew out some steam. He got off his chest. He pretty much made his voice known, so to speak. That guy might end up dead in a hole somewhere. Or he might get messed up, chopped up, torn in pieces. But we don't know that though. We don't know that. The Lord doesn't have to show us that. All right, because like I said before, He does things in secret. Okay. Now it says, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. So it said, don't worry about the ungodly. Don't worry about the rest of these Israelites, these niggards. All right, these spics, Uncle Tomahawks. Don't worry about them, man. All right, but worry about how the elect, which is the righteous, that righteous number, worry about how they're going to be delivered. All right. It says, and also says whose the world is. All right, and for whom the world is created. Okay, so it's created for the world was created for our pleasure. All right, we go another precept in the book of Second Ezra that says the world was made for our sakes. All right, so the world was created for our enjoyment. Okay, and we're going to enjoy it again when the kingdom is established. Okay. Now going on from there, I want to get the precept myself. So I'm going to get Zechariah. Just like it. Go back. Zechariah, the 13th chapter, and start at verse 8. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh Bashem Shai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." All right, so 2 parts. It's talking about Israel, right? It says 2 parts shall be cut off and die, but the third part, the 1/3, is going to be left. All right, so that 1/3 number is going to be preserved. All right, and out of that 1/3 number is going to come the elect, because you got guys that had questions before, about where's the 144,000 played into that the 1/3 number. Well, the 144,000 is going to come out of that 1/3 number, all right? But the rest, if you go, actually, let me see if I can grab it real quick. There's a precept that speaks about that. It should be in the book of Matthew, chapter 10. It should be at verse 41, if I'm not mistaken. I'm starting at verse 40. It says, it's Matthew chapter 10, verse 40. It says, "He that receiveth you, receiveth me." All right. "And he that receiveth me, receiveth him that sent me. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward." And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man, it's like it said, he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man reward. So you have, people that are succorers. Even I know you brothers know what that word means, succorer. Succorer is basically a support, like a supporter. Um, it might help us, out, financially, or might do things that help out the camps or help out the brothers. Um, Example of that is someone that's out in the New York camp, right? I'm not going to mention his name because that's a lot of fire has been under this particular person. Um, he was out there for a amount of time, but he stopped going out. But the thing is that he's still a part of Great Millstone because he's there for support. All right, he's been supporting the New York camp. All right, and specifically he's been supporting the Apostle Elders. All right, and like I said before, I'm not gonna mention his name, because like I said, fire has been under this individual, this brother. I'm not gonna throw his name out there like that. But you have people like that that's gonna make it into the kingdom that believe. All right. Not only that, it's gonna come to a point in time to where this word, this truth is gonna be amplified full force. All right, and you're gonna have multitudes of people coming out and listening. All right, so that's another thing to prepare for. All right, I might just do another lesson on that, Lord willing. All right, I'm preparing ourselves for the multitudes that come out and listen. All right, because that time is gonna come pretty soon. All right, because we're going into 2018. But to get back into the precepts, like it says right here, if you receive a righteous man or a prophet in the name of a righteous man or a prophet, then you receive a righteous man or a prophet's reward. All right. So that's pretty much it on this precept. Now I want to go to Galatians. Let's see. Let's see. Galatians. Let's see, where is it? Oh, there it is. So it's the book of Galatians. Let's see if I can find it. All right, it's Galatians chapter 6, verse 16. It says, "And as many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them." All right. Well, what's the rule? All right. And what it's talking about, what it speaks about, and as many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them. All right. The rule is talking about coming to this truth and doing the work. All right. Because basically, man, all in all, it just falls back on doing the work, man. All right. And that's always been a motto of mine. Just with quotation marks, it's just do the work, man. Just do the work. All right. But it says that many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them and mercy and upon the Israel of the Most High. All right. So wait a second. You have an Israel that's of the Most High, right? You have the natural Israelite, right, which is the 2/3. Those are natural Israelites. Yeah, they're Israelites in the flesh. Yeah, they are brothers, but in the flesh, but spiritually they're not. All right, they're heathens. Okay, so you have a separation. And the Lord deals with that too, man. Separation. That's another lesson. All right, separation. Okay. Uh, let's see. I lost my place for a second. Okay, now I want to get the book of Romans. Let's see, Romans chapter 9. Let's see. Bear me for one moment, Hakeem. One moment, Slaki. Romans chapter 8. Okay, I was in chapter 9. Slaki. I was Romans chapter 8, verse 16. It says, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right. So the Spirit is gonna reveal who's who, man. No matter what. All right. That's why it speaks about the scriptures being as a two-edged sword. All right. And it describes this sword, which is the scriptures, as a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, which your heart goes to the Hebrew word, which means log, which means your mind. All right. So it goes into the intents of your mind. You know how you think. You know what's this and that. You know it's a discerner. It lets you know who's who. Because if you go to scriptures, Hebrews chapter 10 and Psalm chapter 40, which speaks about Yahweh Shai said, "For lo, I come in the volume of the book." All right. So no matter what, we're gonna discern these people, man. All right. Whether you be of this fold, whether you're not of this fold and you're just a two-third Israelite, or you're just a heathen, that's how it goes. Now, verse 17 says, "And if children, then heirs." Oh, it says, "If children, then heirs." So once again, that's the Israel of the Most High, man. Or that's the election that is to inherit the kingdom of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Those are the children right there, man. All right, it says, so if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, right, and joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So yeah, man, we're suffering right now, man, in this kingdom. All right. Actually, this is known as a light affliction, like it says in the scriptures. Okay. So we have to endure this light affliction, right, to inherit the kingdom, to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. All right. So all we have to do is endure. Okay. So that we are, like it says right here, so that we may be also glorified with him. Okay. So those are the ones that are to inherit the kingdom. All right. And that's the only ones that we're concerned with. It's all about the elect. That's it, man. Okay. All the rest of Israel, 2/3, they're gonna bite the dust, man. It's already set in stone. So, we have no business um, concerning ourselves with how they're gonna go out or try to break our necks to get them to understand, because they're not gonna understand. Okay. So with that, I want to leave off with one last footnote. We're also out to curse out 2/3 of our own people too. Okay. Because what would it be if we were out there, we didn't tell them about what they're doing wrong, because that's what we're set up to do, man. We're supposed to tell them what they're doing, what they're going off on. All right. Tell them that what they're doing is wicked, and they continue in what they're doing, they're going to get destroyed. Right. With stammering lips, like it says in Isaiah. All right. Isaiah the 28th chapter. Okay. That's how we to deal with it with 2/3 of our people. Other than that, we're not going to concern ourselves or try to break our necks trying to get them to understand or try to teach this to them. All right, because we'll be here until we go into the grave, man. Right? Actually, let me phrase that. We'll be here until the missiles come, man. All right, just trying to break this down to Jake, but that pretty much ends it off on that. I didn't want to ramble on too longer. With that, man, Lord willing, your sincere Akim was edified with this lesson, this video. Until next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kodash, and Shalom to the apostle elders, or should I say double honors, and Shalom to the apostle elders that rule very well, they continually rule very well, should I say. And shalom and peace and safety to the hopefully elect that's continually laboring in this truth. That's